Have I always been this confident? I always get asked this question, and the answer is no. I haven't always been this confident. I haven't always, been able to speak up. I grew up being an introvert. Would you believe it? I did. I grew up needing, when I say needing, I needed external validation. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe what I said mattered. And it wasn't until I went through depression. And when you go through depression, if anyone knows about depression, when you go through depression, you are at a rock bottom. You're in a place where you have no hope. You can't see any light, and you're in a place of just hopelessness. And in that place of feeling hopeless, like, I reached out to God. Like, for me, I connected with God, and I was like, if you help me in this period of my life, if you help me, I'll spend the rest of my life helping others. And this is where it seems a bit Disney, right? So in that period, when I prayed for that, I knew that if I didn't do anything, it wasn't just going to come to me. I had to do something about it. So I went to the doctors, hoping that they were going to kind of just, maybe give me a bit of counseling. But then they said they want to prescribe me medication to go into antidepressants. And for you guys that know my story, my mum, was addicted to drugs. So drugs have been the devil in my household. I despise drugs. So when I felt I had to be dependent on this antidepressant, I just saw it as a drug, and I was like, I didn't want to be dependent on drugs. And I just cried. And as soon as I left that doctor's, I walked home and I cried. I just felt, when you just, I've got no, like, I can't do this anymore. And I'll be honest, that's when I felt like ending my life. And it was weird, when I felt like ending my life, it was like living carelessly, like walking out on the road and not really caring if you get hit or not, like just being risky. Like, I don't think I had it in me. I wouldn't say have it, I wouldn't even word it like that, but to directly like take my life. I was scared of that, but I just didn't want to exist. I didn't want to, just be here. The pain just hurt. It hurt a lot. And then when I got home that night, I remember crying myself to sleep. And then the following day, I got a phone call. And I've answered the phone. And it's this American guy. And he's like, "Hi, Warren." And I'm like, no one American phones me. And I'm thinking, who the hell is this? Did you apply for this job in America to coach soccer? And I was like, I had to think. But about a year and a half before, I applied for this job, but I didn't get it because I didn't have the right qualifications. And they said, someone's dropped out. Can you take his place? If you can, you're leaving on Friday. I think it was like a Tuesday at that point. You're leaving on Friday. And I'm thinking, this is it. I looked up and was like, this is the sign. And then when I went to America, it was a whole new world. If you've never been to America before, it's completely different, right? New culture. I felt like I was in Hollywood. I felt like this is, whoa, like in the movies. And I came across, when I was coaching in America, I came across a speaker by the name of Eric Thomas. And when I heard this brother speaking on a stage, and he was telling people that his mother was on crack cocaine, and that was something that I'd never told a soul, that my mother was on drugs when we moved from Oxford, where it all began, to Bristol. I was ashamed that my mother was on drugs. But in that moment, when he was speaking, he made me realize that actually I'm not a victim. Because all that time I was saying, why me, why me, why me? And it just made sense. I'm not a victim. I can be a teacher and I can help others. Like the connection I had with Eric then was just like, oh my gosh, this man. Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like he just helped pour so much belief into my heart that if he can do it, so can I. And that's the journey of how I found my voice. I found my voice by that shift in my head where I'm not a victim, I'm a teacher. And it's a disservice not to speak up and help others. And that was going to help me to get me out of the rut that I was in. Because you can't help anybody until you help yourself, right? So I went on a journey of learning who I am, because I thought I knew me. But it's not who we are. It's conditioning, social conditioning. If you're born in Japan, you speak Japanese, and that's language. So what else has been conditioned inside of you? What else do you believe is you but isn't really you? So me being an introvert, because of the trauma that I went through, I was like, that's not serving me. I want to be, outspoken. I want to be able to speak my truth. I want to be able to take the mask off my face. So I went on a journey of, learning why I was fearful of speaking up, because I feared judgment, because I needed external validation and approval. So to solve that, I built a relationship with myself. You see, once you start loving yourself, and you got to learn to love yourself, it's a relationship, and it's an ongoing relationship. You got to be kind to yourself. You got to change the narratives that are currently exist in your head. Because I used to beat myself down all the time. I used to look in the mirror for what I didn't like rather than what I did like. And that little negative voice that I thought was me wasn't actually me. It was a parasite that was conditioned inside of my mind. That voice that you think is yours, is it really your voice? And then I realized that this one thing, because I needed this external validation. Once I started building a relationship with me, I no longer needed it. I was like, I love me. If other people love me, that's a bonus. But I love myself. And I gave myself permission to speak up. And it was scary because this ego-based fear is the fear that holds all of us back. It's the fear of being judged. It's the fear of worrying, caring about what others think of you. It's none of our business what others think of us. As long as you're secure of who you are, it's irrelevant what other people say about you. So I started to really understand the root cause of why I cared so much. I changed that. I started to love myself. I no longer needed external validation, which allowed me to show up. I no longer was in this popularity race of trying to get significance in approval from others. I started to get significance in being me. And then I started to take myself out of my comfort zone. I went on a reality TV show here in the UK called First Dates. I did that so I could say to the world, that's my story. Judge me. Come on, bring it. Bring that judgment to me. Come on. Oh, that hurts at the start. Yes, it's going to emotionally hurt. But then you're like, I know myself well enough. You don't know me. Have a good day. Keep healing. And then it became like water off a duck's back. That's how I found my voice. I didn't want to be a speaker. It was a calling. I had to speak up. It was an injustice for me not to speak up. And in doing that, it allowed me to speak on stages of 10, 15,000 plus people. And now I can do this day in, day out. It's amazing. And anyone can do this. So the answer to this video, I haven't always been confident. Far from it. I grew up in foster care. I grew up with my mum addicted to drugs. Never seen my dad before. I was a product of my environment for a very long time. But not no more. This brother's healing. Still healing and growing. But I found my voice. Found my voice. If you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to subscribe down below, like the video and comment as well. Can you relate to this? Has it been beneficial to you as well? Please communicate with me. I want to get a conversation going on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching, guys. And I'll see you guys next. Turn your mess into a message. This is Warren Inspired from the Fearless Speaking Academy.